So these are the ASAHOM outdoor permanent lights that you can install yourself. This is the Pro version, so a lot of things that you'll need to be aware of before we jump into the box. Works with Google Home and Alexa. It comes in white and black, and there's a ton of different lengths. So it starts out at 100 and goes all the way up to 400 feet. So depending on the space on your house, that's what you can do. You can cut them, you can connect them together, different outlets, all of that's there. Installation is really, really easy. This is the second strand that we are actually running through. The lumens, I want to make sure that I tell you, yeah, so 5040 lumens, 50,000 hours of LED time on these. There's a ton of different controls. I'll jump into the app, show you how that works, what that looks like. Great for holidays, Christmas, Halloween, anything that you want, 4th of July, any holidays like that. And you can run a ton of different settings. You can add timers to it. So there's a bunch that you can do with these. And these are great because you do not have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for installers to install them. You can just do them yourself. So let's jump into the box right now. Okay, so as we jump into the box, I think a lot of questions that people have asked about these or similar items is it waterproof? Yes, it's IP67. So you're gonna get a user's manual. It's gonna come with everything here. It shows you how to connect them. It shows you with the extenders, the cable, there's the IP67 waterproof right there. If you have them under your eaves, you shouldn't be really worried about water. Obviously there's some measurements here, so you can measure different things. And each box has something different in it. And I don't know if I have my, oh yeah, we do, blade to cut them open. So one of the things that I have learned in each individual box, you can see right there, section 3, section 6, is that when I install, you can see right here, they have these little sticky things right here. When I install these, what I like to do is I like to have a wet towel just to clean off underneath my eaves. I think it depends on whether you have metal, aluminum, wood, how sticky these are going to last. And the other thing that I recommend is always testing all of them out to make sure that all of the lights work before you just jump in and start installing them. So I will actually just do that down in my office. So here's everything in here, the adapter, control box, the extension cord, fault detection module, the screw pack. I am not going to screw mine in. I think that causes more problems later. You can if you have wood. That's why they send both the sticky and there. So here's your basically power adapter. So the nice thing about my setup is I actually have a plug up in the eaves, so I don't have to worry about that. There's your splitter, so you can run 2 different lines. I'll show you what that looks like. Here's your extender here. And then here's all your screw right here, screw kits. And then this is your adapter. And then there's another extender to go around. So let me get these powered on, and I want to make sure that they all work before we actually go outside and start throwing them up. So I'm going to pause it here and then we'll come back in just a second. Okay, so we're starting to just plug these together. And again, these are not installed, right? Obviously, I'm not up on the roof doing this, but I just wanted to show you this. It's almost like a little tongue and groove. So on one side, you've got a 3-prong, but there's also a little kind of black plastic piece to make sure that you line them up together. So when you plug in the next bunch, the next batch, you can push it, and then you have this little twisty screw basically that locks them into place. So then I would just find the end, and then I'm going to plug in, those are just some extenders here. Again, I want to make sure that I have all of them working before we go out. They have these little gaps too right here, right? So the amplifier, right, if you need to go around a window, around a place that doesn't need to have lights, or you have a gap between your roof and a second floor or something like that, we're just going to put these on the bottom floor. Super easy there. These are all individual strands. I'm really looking to make sure that just all the long ones, because we're just going to have one row. And so pretty self-explanatory. Again, you have some extenders here, and every single one of the lights, as you can see, has the LED. It's already changing color. I have not opened the app. I'll do that in a few seconds. I just wanted to show you all this. But then each one of these has a little basically stick pad right here. And I'm not going to pull it off because I'm going to use this later, but that you would pull this off. And the thing that I like about this is it does have a little spot to peel off. You're not up there on a ladder trying to scratch your fingernail and pull this off. And that you're like, what? That doesn't make a difference. It makes a huge difference because you're up there with two hands holding a string of lights, right? That's 100 feet long, kind of trying to get it up there. So again, we've got both pieces working. We've got the extenders. We have the individual lines here and here that we can do around. The nice thing is you could do these around windows as well. So if you're, and I'm not talking about eaves in the top, I'm talking about around the windows. You could actually do that as well. Again, we're just gonna go with the bottom eaves. We're getting ready for Halloween. So we're gonna be running some purple and probably orange colors, but I will show you the different settings when we get to the app so you can see what this looks like. So they're all working, they're all on, at least the long ones here are. I'm not gonna test each one of these individually. There's like 5 or 6 of them. There's actually, how many here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this piece. And then this is just a 1 out. So I could probably test this one as well. The cool thing about this is you can see the program, it's a delayed, right? So the pink is going through to the purple and then it's kind of rotating through all of these, how I have them plugged in. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to kind of walk you outside. I'm going to install the whole thing. I'm going to put it in kind of fast forward mode. The thing that you need to remember or want to remember is that you just have enough room either at the end or at the beginning to plug all of your lights in. Like I said earlier, I have a plug that's already built into my eaves, so I don't really have to worry about anything like that. And then I just wind up the leftover cord and I'll just tuck it right up in there. And then we'll show you some different things. We'll connect it to some things and I'll show you some different scenes that you can see in the app. So let's go to that point. One is you've got this remote control here. So you can power them on just from the switch. You can change the color of the lights using the A button right here, which is on top. And then you can also change the scene by hitting B down at the bottom. This is where you're going to get your rolling lights. This is where you're going to get your holiday lights. And this is outside of the app, right? So I'm not even connected to the app. So you can see that these are blinking a lot more. This is more of a Christmas vibe. As we go through, you can see that there's, you know, kind of scenic ones that are a little bit lighter, different things like that. And again, with the A button, you can just change the solid color like that, and then you can just power this off. So glad I found that before. And maybe this is the difference between the Pro version and the regular version, is the other ones that I have do not do this one. So, okay, let's jump into outside. Okay, so instead of watching you kind of go through me explain this the whole time, so the couple things that you want to be aware of when you're installing outside is you want to make sure that the cord is tight, but it is not like pulling it. Otherwise, the stickers will come undone. And you'll notice that I have on top of the ladder is I have a little washcloth that's just full of water, and that allows me just to wipe off any dust or spider webs or anything that might be up in the eaves. And this is a little bit complicated because we have this hedge here and it's kind of annoying because I have to move it around. Once you get past, or if you're on a roof that doesn't have a hedge, this is going to go really, really quick for me. So the total time that this took, you can see that I'm kind of explaining as I go through this. I don't want to watch the whole thing. This took me about 40 minutes, right, to do this whole thing. And the hardest part was basically around these hedges. Now you'll see that I have a little bit of gaps in some of these because there's vents up in there that lets the air out through the attic and through the eaves. Is what I will do is I will go back later with some double-sided tape and I will just tape those up. Depending on the color of your house, you may want to go with white or black. If you have wood, I don't know if it matters, maybe something that matches the wood color underneath there. Obviously, you're going to have to pick out the best part of you. The other thing that you'll want to be aware of is when you get to the corners, is that you'll want to actually twist it. So I twisted it on the inside so that the light was facing the direction that the row was going to go. Once you do that, it's pretty easy. I put it in the middle of my eaves, not at the front, not at the back, because I wanted the reflection on the house, and you'll see that when we jump to the lights when they're outdoors. Okay, once you connect your ASAHOM lights to the Bluetooth, you're going to want to make sure that you update. It's super easy. It just updates, and you're going to come to this screen, and you'll sync the lights here. And so as this is loading, it'll pull up everything here, and a couple things on this page. When I click on the pencil in the top right-hand corner, It's going to take me to a page where I can add other devices. I can add other groups. If I wanted to share this with somebody else, they could actually control the lights. So if you have a partner or a wife or a husband that you want to control the lights as well, this is also where you would add the Google Home or the Alexa on this as well. So then you can also go to settings. This will show what version you're on of the actual lights. And so this is the part that I was saying that you needed to update earlier. And then you can also add a timer here. And so the timer you can basically put in different things like that. You can have, different times, stuff like that. So pretty self-explanatory on that. You have this picture of the home right here. Here's your power button. So you can turn the lights on or off. And then this slider actually will slide the brightness of the lights. You can see this is kind of dimming. Hopefully this is showing up on the lights outside as I'm doing this. And then what we can do is we can go through palettes, effects, and different things like this. So we talked about this earlier. It does connect to audio. This will run off your phone audio or outdoor audio. Because of copyright, I'm not going to play any audio because all the audio I would have would be Halloween music. But when we click on palette right here, this is going to give us basically a bunch of different palettes that we can choose from. And so when I say palette, it's a separate color of light. So there's rainbow, there's different things like that. So that's the palette. Then we actually have effects, and effects is going to allow us to bounce, jump around, go back and forth like fireworks or candles or drips, and you can actually customize these all you want. So when we go to presets, you'll see that we have Halloween, presets here, different colors. So this is the one that's purple and orange, which is the one that we're on. It kind of goes back and forth between purple and orange, but you can go through Christmas, Easter, Labor Day, all of the holidays are here. And then if you want to just select with a color palette, this is, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so I can see, this is where we can change the colors from, as we move around, we can actually just change these and pick these, and you can select them as I'm jumping back, right? So when we go to white, we have the option to change the brightness, whether that's a warm white or a dark white, and then you can change all those things. There's literally millions of combinations. I don't have time to go through all of them. I want to make sure that you get through to the end of the video, and I also want to make sure that I share my final thoughts on everything with this. So the setup is really, really easy. Everything connects here. You can actually go in and you can create your own kind of things by picking a palette and an effect, duration, all of that stuff. I'm not going to spend time doing that now, but you do have the option to create anything that you want for any holiday that you want. And again, you can either turn these off manually out on your switch, whether it's inside or outside, or then right here on the app, and you just turn them off like this. Okay, let's jump into my final thoughts and final things. Final thoughts on this. The difference really for me is the difference between the Pro and the regular is you have a lot more options with the Pro. You have some AI settings. You can actually take pictures of things and just throw it into the app, and it will kind of try and match the lights. I think the install is going to be the same on both of them. One of the things, and I've installed multiple sets and multiple kinds of these lights to do these reviews, is the install for the ASAHOM is really, really good because you can use either the screw sets or the sticky, depending on if you have metal siding, wood siding. If you're on stone, you're probably going to want to get some different screws. You're going to get stone screws. I think the gaps as far as the install on these ones is great because you can go up to those windows. You've got 6 feet. You can extend up to that upper level. Some of the ones that I've previously installed are basically all one strand, where the ASAHOM Pro lights, they come in multiple strands so you can separate them out. And I do like that they can connect with Google Home or Amazon, and you can kind of control the lights that way. The other big thing for me, the difference between the Pro and the other versions that I have, is that this actually has a switch on the lights itself. So even if you're running from an extension cord or inside out a window or something like that, you can turn these off from the inside. Some of the other ones that I've seen, other companies, and I'm not going to name names, but you have to have the app, right? So other than the controls that you lose that way, I love that part. So final thoughts, these are absolutely fantastic. If you're looking at do-it-yourself home lighting, this is the route to go. Grab a ladder, install them yourself. The nice thing is it's gonna save you so much as far as cost, right? Getting those installed are in the thousands of dollars, where these are not that much. So it's a great way to save money if you're looking to celebrate all year round. You can just stick them up, leave them up. You never have to get up there, take them down. You don't have to do anything. They just stay. Again, they're waterproof, customizable for all the holidays. You can be the family on your block that has them going all year round. And the nice thing is, I showed you with the white light, you can just use them as like a nighttime light that you're actually just having on, right? Like your outside light. So 2 thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you.